Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Hope we're all doing well. Looks like we got a solid range overnight. Monday morning, man. Here we are. Only time I've ever been excited for Monday morning in my professional career. Hope you guys have already drawn your channels this morning, or at least start to work on them now. Try to get a sense of, what's going on price action wise and, what you're looking for. This is kind of how I'm seeing everything so far. It's a really nice uptrend this morning, but kind of right into that possible range high. It looks like we might get even like a nice kind of classic second entry long here. Here's our first entry. Bet you it'll do this. But man, I don't know. Right by the top of the range like that, I don't know that I'm going to take that one. This is a very nice looking uptrend though. If all this junk wasn't here, I would totally trade that. But I would bet we would do one of these and maybe even do a second entry and then just kind of fizzle out here. How was the weekend, everyone? Did you rest up? Did you just study? Go through old trades? Personally, the weekend is for rest for me. Got a family, family time is really important. Disconnecting from the market's important, so yeah, I'm not one of those that spends all weekend studying or anything. Yeah. Yeah, trading dreams are for real. All of mine are like some sort of technical difficulty that happens. I enter a trade and I can't get out of it or something. One thing I did over the weekend is I've been running on Wi-Fi ever since I moved, and it's like, that's dangerous, man. I don't trust trading on Wi-Fi, even though I have really fast internet. So, unfortunately, I can't connect anywhere close to my office, so it's all the way across the house. So over the weekend, I was in the crawl space, ran a cord, drilled some holes, ran a cord all the way from the other side of the house to my office, so I'm directly plugged in now. Still a little bit itchy. It was all like spray insulation, so I was just swimming in it. It was terrible and fun at the same time. Man, I'm wondering if I should consider trading a failed second entry long here. I don't think so. But because here's our first entry. I mean, if it really pushes down far here and then gives like a weak looking second entry with the bearish bar, I'd take that as a failure. But I don't know, man. You get a strong uptrend like that, I think we're gonna make a pretty solid attempt at a new high here. So I don't know that I want to fade it. I might fade a lower high. If we get a second entry long that fails and then I get a lower high, I might wait for that. That'd be the safer move. We're quiet this morning, man. I know this is my stream and everything, but I don't want to be the only one talking. Chat it up, guys. Chat it up. But I get it. Alright, it's Monday. Everyone's still trying to recover. Morning, Gabe. Thanks for shouting out, man. This is starting to look better for a failed second entry, though. We are starting to push lower on this candle. If this finishes nice and bearish, that'll be a good sign. I'm going to draw that short-term channel as well. Always draw those little correction channels. They give you a lot of information. Dang, that was a pretty bullish candle there. So this is going to be our second entry. I mean, if it weren't for this second entry would look really nice. This is pretty textbook. Although, I mean, you got a little space between the bar and the EME. That would keep me out of it unless the context was super bullish. But as far as like the setup itself, the pattern itself, you really can't get more textbook than this if it triggers higher. It's exactly the pattern that we're looking for. If you were super aggressive, you might take that, but it's not high probability for sure because of all those things. There's some slight things that are not good about it. But I might wait for a lower high. I might trade that. If it proves that it's bullish here, you know. If we get this and it pushes up and maybe even gives a lower high like right around the top of the support, I'll take that. It's got to prove it to me. Really, that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's got to be proven one way or the other. When you're in a range like that, that's kind of what you're looking for, you know. Second entries really are a setup for trends. And we do have, you know, a short-term trend here, but the range takes priority because that is the structure for the day. So you always have to keep in mind the structure for the day. And in a range structure, you're looking to sell right here and buy right here. So that takes precedence. So because we're right here, my first thought is sell because of the range structure. But then, like I've been saying, you have this just really nice looking second entry long, but that's not the priority. That's not the main trend or the main structure for the day. The main structure is not this short-term trend. The main structure is range. So that, yeah, you always have to prioritize things like what's the main bias and then kind of work down from there. It's like if you were in a bullish trend day and it was really obvious, you're only looking for longs. That's your main priority. Now, there might be, some occasions where a short makes sense and it sets up nice, but it really has to prove it to you. Like, no, it's a bullish trend day. I'm only buying. The stars have to align for me to do anything else. So that's what this is like right here. Yeah, exactly, macaroons. I'm looking for the failure here as well. But I just say all that and I wasn't considering a long, but I say all that just to kind of talk through the process that you need to have in regards to this. Because I think a lot of traders would see something like this, especially if they're learning second entry longs and they've finally been able to kind of identify that pattern. They're going to go, oh man, first entry, second entry, right above a bullish bar. I'm taking it. That's the setup. And I guess my point is, you're right, that is the setup, but price action strategies are all about context and reading the whole picture. It's like a story. The every day is like a different story, and you have to interpret it and read it from beginning to end. So I agree with macaroons. I'm looking for a failure, but for me, it's got to happen lower. If the failure were to happen right here, I'm not going to take it. It's got to push a little bit lower for me and prove itself below the EMA. Man, this is pretty painfully slow this morning. I mean, I know it's pre-market and everything, but you usually get a little bit more movement, a little bit more volume. This is akin to watching paint dry. There is a lot of Fed speak going on this week, so that might kind of be what the market's like, though. Might be a bit slow. So our second entry never actually triggered. So we might actually trigger it here. First entry. Here's our pullback. Here's where we're waiting for it, but it never went higher. So now we're actually waiting for it on this one. Unless a bar triggers higher, we're just gonna keep pulling back. This will still be all the pullback after the first entry. I think it's gonna trigger here. Gosh, this looks nice if it weren't for everything else. Now it's even touching the EMA, tempting me a little bit more. What you might do in a situation like this is just trade it on sim. If you're feeling the itch to take a trade, if it's looking pretty good, but you're also at the same time like not sure of the setup or not super confident in it, good thing to do is switch over to sim and take the trade. You know, no risk to you, but it'll scratch the itch a little bit. And then also you get to see how it plays out and give yourself some information. Journal it. You know, journal all your sim trades versus your live trades. Categorize them by setup and see if you notice any patterns. Looks like this might turn into a nice bearish bar here. Well, we got 12 minutes till market open, and I'm not going to be surprised if we get like one more bar in that time. With how much this is just kind of inching along, we get like maybe one more bar right here until the open in 12 minutes. All the institutional traders are still waking up, I guess. The line at Starbucks is too long. Well, we did stay above the EMA. And it does look like we have somewhat of a break and new low here. So we could get a bullish trade here. We could get along. I want to see a higher low though, as I had mentioned. Now that we have, well, I guess we don't have the second entry long, but even if we do right here, it's got to prove itself. So I'll take a higher low here. So far it's proven bullish. Has stayed above that EMA. You know, and now that we have moved down a little bit, even if like this is just a slight move up that's then gonna just fizzle out to the and respect the range, we now have enough room to the top of the range. And yeah, Gary, you're totally right. It's really not, it's like an equal low here, so it'd be better if it was down in here, the low, but it's made an attempt and we've held the EMA, so I think if we push up here, get a higher low, I'll be inclined to take that. If there's room to scalp, then you can take a setup like that. So now we officially do have our second entry. So we'll see what happens here. It might just fail straight away, and there we go. Then we have our information, and then we'll look for a lower high for confirmation. That's another little tip. If you're kind of caught between two trades, like, is this going to be a second entry or failed second entry? Well, wait and see which one happens, and then wait for the confirmation bar, either a higher low or a lower high. And I think this is the perfect context for that, because again, we can kind of see price going either way, right? So wait for confirmation. There's the setup. Here's our second entry long, but because we were unsure, didn't take it. But let's wait for a confirmation and join that move. How's my voice volume, guys? Is it too loud, too quiet? I'm trying to mess with the levels and really get them dialed in. I know in the previous stream some folks had said my voice was too quiet, so I did turn it up a little bit, but I also don't want to be too loud, especially on a Monday morning this early. So feedback would be awesome. Okay, I'll get better. Anyone else? I can crank it up some more, so if everyone else thinks it's too quiet as well, I'll turn it up a little bit. Maybe it's just gonna be me and Jocko communicating today. Well, alright, I'm gonna turn it up for Jocko. Alright, how's that? We a little bit better now? I don't want to go, I'm monitoring the levels. I don't want to go into red here, but I think that looks a little bit better. What do you think, Jocko? Solid, alright, I'm down. Looks like this second entry long would have worked nicely so far. What do we got? Oh yeah, 1, 2, scalped out already for 2 points, which is what my target is so far this morning. Now we got 5 minutes to market open. Let's see how that higher low sets up. Yeah, you know, market open really could present us a nice little higher low. Could draw in some shorts with like big tail and then finish right around the EMA. I guess that wouldn't be a higher low, but that'd be a double trap. But still. Because, okay, I'm not going to fade it, right? If we get a nice big green bar on the open, I'm not going to fade that. It'd be better if we had a push down and then a bearish hammer. If you're enjoying the morning so far, please like this stream. Let me know we're chilling. Yeah, I think we're going to get a little flush to the downside on market open. We've already had our second entry long. And just consolidating up here after this nice move up. I think we're going to get a little flush. You know, because this is pretty bullish looking. I think you got a lot of buyers here. And the open likes to play with emotions like that. Oh, you think it's bullish? Oh, okay. Check this out. Good morning all who are just joining. 2 minutes to market open. I'm still looking at that higher low. Yeah, anything out of the range would be helpful. But with how low this volume is, I don't think we're going to see a strong trend day in either direction. Lowish volume, range-like structure overnight. I would imagine we're going to probably stay in a range. Not necessarily this range. I'm sure we'll push out of it a little bit, but I don't think we're going to get a trend day. Maybe we'll just kind of extend up here, or we'll get, you know, a higher range up here for a while. But yeah, I don't see a trend day in the cards. Ooh, this higher low is looking tasty. But still space here. I don't know. Really close to the highs now. We already made the scalp on this second entry. I think I'm gonna hold off. And 1 minute to the open. So I think we'll see what happens first. Yeah, it didn't form well anyway. Cool, we got a little volume on the open. All right. There's that push down we were talking about. Might have. Yep. There we go. So, and there is our official new low. That's right, Gary. Thanks for calling that out. We definitely now have a break and new low of this small correction. So that is officially played out. Now let's look for a higher low. Let's see if it can set up. EMA still showing support here. Well, it was. Yeah, this is dicey now. Because as Gary pointed out, we do have a break and new low here, so can't really think about shorting just yet. But we are below the EMA, so shorts are looking better. We already had the second entry long here, and even a higher low that triggered, that failed. So we got a lot of things failing at the same time here. And we're just in this weird spot in the chart of this high part in the range. So yeah, this is a no trade zone for me. Wait for more information. Just hoping for a trade, wanting to get the first trade of the funded account evaluation challenge. I think, oh wait, I don't have that up. Hold on. Let me get that up. Okay, there we go. That's better. So yeah, trying to get that first trade in there. Funded account evaluation challenge. Man, here's a nice little push up. If you want to join in on getting an evaluation, again, today and tomorrow, the last days for Apex's 80% off sale. So get in on that while you can. Code is down here. Link in the description, etc., etc. Morning, Toad. Yep, lots of Fed speak going on this week. A little low again. Okay. I did turn it up a little bit ago. But yeah, I can turn it up some more. I don't want to go into the red on my monitor here, but I'll try to bump it up a little bit. Test, test, test. Is that a little bit better? I can keep going. Well, now we're getting our new high. Which did expect a test of this, right? Because of how nice this up move was. And you get a beautiful bullish move like that, barely any red candles, you get a break, you are likely going to see a new extreme formed like it is right there. So now we have our new high. We'll look for a push down, and what we're looking for here is to see how far and how deep, how strong this move is. Looking at the EMA, does it hold? Is it supporting prices or not? Those are the things you need to be looking for. I'm gonna play around with a possible channel here in case we remain bullish. This could be like a spike in a channel formation here, so just connecting the highs, playing around with that. Gonna adjust this one a lot though because it is not proven whatsoever. Nice one. Well, if I have any advice for you, if you're doing an evaluation, is take it slow. Take it slow. Don't try to pass in any amount of time. And trade small too. Don't use the max amount of contracts they give you. Give you way too much for the amount of drawdown. So trade small, take it slow, just day by day. Be okay with not taking a trade each day. And yeah, if you have an edge and you're somewhat profitable, do just fine. We're gonna play around with all sorts of channels here. I don't like that one at all. But we could get Big Daddy. The fast way to get rich is to do it slow. Amen to that. Okay, let's see. This possible big channel has any merit, then we're gonna bounce right here. A lot of space up here though. Moment of truth, little channel. Are you legit? Ooh, look at this nice bullish bar right where we had drawn that channel. This would be a second entry long. But we have pushed up too far. We already have a high of that previous channel. I'm not taking it, but if you're aggressive, you might try that. Triggered. Nice, macaroons. I'm glad you're out of it though, because it sketches me out a little bit. Given the right context, it's really nice, but man, it's just a little dicey. See if we can keep pushing up here. I would confirm this channel. But if I remove all this stuff, oof, I really do like that one so far. But if I remove all this, it's looking pretty choppy, pretty compressed, like it wants to start to move down in the range. So I really don't want to trust this channel too much. But so far it's proven itself. I say that right as it starts to deteriorate. It's holding above the range. This would be a higher low after the second entry long. Really congested though. Really congested here. But that's a nice bar. Man. Triggered. Shoot. Oh, looks like it's gonna work. Yeah, so good question, macaroons. Man, that worked out. So higher low and lower highs to me are mostly a confirmation setup. So you're not just going to take a higher low or a lower high just whenever. You really want it to confirm a second entry. So if a second entry long, for instance, is not ideal, then you would look for a higher low to confirm it, so then you can have a bit more confidence entering the trade. So for right here, we had a first entry, second entry, didn't like it because of, the space up here, we're at the top of the range, etc. So then I'm gonna look for a higher low to confirm that, to prove me right, and that happens right here. It goes lower, finishes nice and bullish. That confirms, like, okay, this second entry was legit. Prices are still holding. We got a higher low. And so it's the same on the short side. Let me see if I can find anything on the chart. I don't think so, but let's see. 1, 2. Okay, yeah, here's something. Down here, we had a pullback. This is technically our first entry right here. Pullback. That's our second entry. I don't like that. It's below a bullish bar, above the EMA. I'm not taking that, but if I had a lower high right here, that would confirm this second entry short setup. And if it happened below the EMA on a bearish bar, then that would confirm, okay, this second entry short is legit. So that's the main way that I approach higher lows, lower highs as a confirmation. The other way would be in a range. You could just trade them straight out. So if you have a defined range, and let's pretend that prices respected the top and came back down here. You have a defined range. That's the structure you're working on. Wait for a higher low to buy. You don't want to trade the first. Let's say there's one bullish candle here. You don't want to trade the first one, and prices came down here. Maybe you don't want to trade the first one. Wait for a couple more to print, and then give you a higher low right here. Now you can take that. Okay, you're playing range structure, wanting to buy the low of the range, but you don't want to just pick a bar because it could keep going down lower, so the higher low confirms it. So those are the main, and vice versa, obviously, for lower highs. So those are the main ways I play it, as a confirmation of second entries on a trend, and then as a confirmation to buy the low of a range or sell the high of a range. Hope that's helpful. Here we go. That what do you call it? That trend starting to fail, which can be expected with all this space at the top of the range. Not surprised in the least. Gonna delete that. Alright, so now our range is getting confirmed. Love it. So here's an instance where I'm waiting for a lower high, because we're playing range rules. Looks like we're moving down into it. I'm not just gonna pick the first candle. You know, I didn't pick this top because you could just keep going up. So I didn't pick this top, but now that we're starting to push down, it's like, okay, a lower high would confirm that, especially if it's happens right around here or on the top of the range, EMA. I'll take that. Actually, with how much it's pushed, it'd be wiser to wait for a failed second entry long. Yeah, failed second entry long would be a little bit safer here. But if there's a nice lower high, it's gonna be hard to skip. Wonder if there's any support right here. Oh, you're talking about this up here, macaroons? That, oops, that didn't tick higher. You're not treating this as a new high? Oh, below the EMA, yeah. Yeah, me either. That's all. Look at that, perfectly even. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars so far. Man, you're getting really stacked right there. Don't trade that junk, man. Oh, I hope they don't find anything too alarming, Jocko. Yeah, that totally looks like that breakout trade that some of you took last week, when it just put in all those equal highs. Alright, Jocko. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. And here's exactly, macaroons, now that you bring it up, that breakout trade that occurred last week. This is why I don't take those, because you had all these equal highs. So you know, you put your order right here. It's like, hey, I'm gonna buy that breakout, and then boom, you get that move up you're looking for, and then it just slams down. So if you don't hit your target right here, you probably get stopped out right there. Okay, I like, you know what? I like a failed second entry short right here now that we're pushing above the EMA. Yeah, I'm looking to that. This would be it right here. Pull back, first entry, pull back, looking for that second entry that fails. Thanks, Thinkorswim. Always helpful, right? You trade futures on Thinkorswim, Madhav? Man, those are some serious commissions. Hey, good morning. Oh yeah, I guess you should reset the count there. Good call. Those are all equal bottoms. That bull is nice. Oh, okay. Much better, Madhav. I was worried you're trading futures on TOS. Unless you've negotiated down commissions, it is ridiculous. Margin requirements too are crazy on there. It's like 15,000 for one ES contract. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is clear my cache. Just realizing that I need to get into that habit every week. Make sure that all the data is coming through nicely. Because I know someone mentioned that their bars were a little bit different. Got me thinking. If we didn't have the that double bottom right here, those equal lows, that would have been a second entry short that then failed. That was a big old signal bar though, but that's the right context for it. No, well, what you can do in NinjaTrader macaroons is, hold on. Oh, you can't see that. Oh yeah, you can. What you can do is go to, where is it? Reload all historical data right there. That might help, but no, clearing the cache, you have to actually go into like your computer and delete. You can look it up on the NinjaTrader forums. It's pretty easy. You just delete a folder. Delete the cache on your computer, reload historical data, and that usually, I'm gonna do that right now. Hopefully it won't mess things up. Oh, just took all away, channels away. There we go. Oh yeah, okay, the bars are looking a little different. A lot different, actually. Cool. Yeah, you got to do that every week. I always forget. Now I don't really even like this channel now with these bars. I don't really like it at all. Doesn't fit very well. Alright, now we got some matches. So apparently you guys, your computers are fine. Mine, I have to clear the cache every week. Just gets jacked up. Hey, Matthew, welcome. Sorry, I need to figure out better ways of getting the word out. I think if you have like the bell notifications on, I think that notifies you if I go live. But yeah, welcome. Glad to have you with us. We've been having some fun. Chilling out in the mornings together. It's been good, so glad to have you on board. Man, we never have gotten to the tops of this channel. We're still at the top of that range for the day. This might be where we finally push lower. Now we got like, I think this would be considered a head and shoulders right here. Yeah, it does feel like maybe we just got a higher range now. I like a failed second entry long here, if we can keep pushing down. We'll see what it looks like to move the range up a little bit. I don't know. I don't like it that much. Just doesn't seem to fit right. I'm gonna keep playing around with this channel. Might have something more like this. That is so flat though. That just can't be right. Oops, hold on here. Well, no, it doesn't match up that great. It's also just so flat. That would be, yeah, no. You can't trust that. But, well, you know what? Let's turn on the midline. See what the midline looks like. Wow, that's a little bit more convincing. I'm going to delete this for a moment. I mean, look at that. That's somewhat convincing. That midline supporting prices pretty well. Oh, this might be what we have. And you know what? That actually, if you look at the EMAs, they're kind of following that trajectory too. So anytime your channel matches up with your EMA, it's a pretty good sign. There's our first entry along off this swing high. Right here. If we get one more push and a second entry long, I'll take that failure. Oof, that's a nice little push up there. We got a wick. Feels pretty congested though. I'm gonna put my order on the chart just in case this gets really tempting. Nope. Forget that. I always appreciate when bars remove the temptation to trade on somewhat marginal setups. Went the other way. I'm gonna keep playing around with channels now that we know that this is a possibility. I'm gonna shift it back and see what we can make the range look like. Maybe if we move it up a little bit. Move that right in there. What on earth is that? That feels a little bit better. It looks like I mean this section definitely looks like a little mini range up in here. That's probably a little bit more fair of a structure. Just feels a little bit too wide and too flat to make it a trend channel, a bullish trend channel. I think we got more. I think it's a little bit more like this. I like the possibility of a failed breakout here. That could be interesting. $59 to $65. Yep, that's pretty much where we're at. 59 to. You have it a little bit shorter than. You know what? I like that too. I like that too. I'm gonna take a look at that. That looks pretty good too. Right on all those matching highs. I'm gonna leave it. Thanks for the call out, macaroons. Yeah, I agree, Madav. Which unfortunately is just kind of the norm these days. The bear market of 2022 and the chop market of 2023. I don't mark them might have. I'm aware of them, and I just don't trade them. But maybe that's a good idea to mark them on my chart so I can kind of work around them as far as channels and things go. I might start to do that. But I think that only really is if you get, like a big one like FOMC. Like, whatever this was, home sales or whatever. I mean, that didn't, not a huge effect on the chart. I think you can include all that stuff. Ooh, that's a nice lower high. It's tempting. But there's been too much bullish imbalance. I'm going to need any shorts to be really proven. Touching that level. Touching the high. That happens so much. Like, hey, check out this level, and then right as you're typing it, it breaks. Yeah, this is, we might want to reconsider that bullish channel we had. I'm going to draw it one more time for kicks and giggles. Well, that'd be an overshoot of that, actually. Interesting. Yeah, this might be just a grind higher kind of day. Look at this move up. Let's see about maybe right here. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. I like that. Oof. Those computers fight it out. Almost got the first entry there. There's our first entry. This does look like an overshoot though, and it kind of reacted like an overshoot. We're really high for a second entry long anyway, with all this space above the EMA. We'd have to come quite far down. Hope you guys play around with the channels as much as I do. You really want to just try it, especially on days that are not super clear. You want to keep trying stuff out and looking to see what makes the most sense. There's always a pattern. There's always some sort of pattern in play. You just got to figure out what it is. Sometimes it's very clear, you know, you get this kind of move up, and that, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But this kind of junk gets a little tricky. And the only way you can get better at that is just really working with it. Trying things out. Seeing if they're respected or not. You know, actually, if I just adjust that a little bit, it doesn't look like an overshoot anymore. So now that I've played around with it, I'm satisfied. I like this. I think it makes a lot of sense because we have had some clear ranges. You know, this guy in here, I think that's pretty clear. I think the range at the beginning of the day was pretty clear. But now we definitely have some bullish imbalance, and the lows here are matching perfectly with that move up. So I'm now satisfied with what I've drawn, so I can just chill a little bit. That's what it takes to figure this stuff out sometimes. Failed second entry long. Let's check it out. Now I'm not going to trade it because now we're bullish, right? But always good to know what setup's in play. There's our first entry, second entry. Yeah, I mean, hasn't actually failed yet, but looks like this bar might be the failure. At least on my chart it didn't fail, because this bar didn't tick lower. It's an equal low. If it would have ticked lower, that would have been the failure, but so far it hasn't done that. But you don't want to take a failure also in all this. Even if you're looking for the failure, that's congested. Skip that kind of zone. That's the kind of zone where you get a tick lower that instantly reverses. Ask me how I know. This would be a nice little place to go long if it wasn't so far above the EMA. Nice higher low right in here would have been awesome if it would have ticked down there and give us a nice bullish bar. I would have taken that trade. I think I'm going to rename this live stream to, if this would have happened and this would have happened, I would have taken that trade. I would have taken that. That can be our tagline. I would have taken that. The woulda coulda. But there is a difference always between like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, wish I woulda, that woulda happened, and like, you know, you want to see, you know, and hey, if this happens and this happens, I'll take it. You know, there's a marked difference, I think, to me between, oh man, I wish I would have got in on that, and hey, if this did this, exactly this, at exactly this, that would have proven to me that it was high probability and I could take it. You know, in one, there's like kind of a FOMO kind of thing going on, where you're just wishing that you would have gotten in a trade. The other one, it's analytical. It's reaffirming what setup you're looking for, and trying to see it on the chart and practicing, identifying it. Yeah, it might be a while before we get a trade. I think I would probably only take at this point. Obviously anything can happen, but with how far we are up, I really do want to see a large pullback. Took that higher low. Okay. Hey, look, I don't think that's bad if you're super bullish on the day. And if you're only going for 1 point, that's different too. You can take a little bit less than ideal setups because the likelihood that it's going to move in your favor a point is a lot higher. But 2 points is the bare minimum that I trade, so that plays into why I'm so picky. The chances of success go down on less than ideal setups. Yeah, the ATR right now is at 2, so that's rough. Yeah, same macaroons. If I have a 2.5 ATR, I go for 2 points. If I have a 3 ATR, I go for 2.5 points. That's how I usually play it. If you're joining us more recently and haven't already liked this stream, please do so. Tell the YouTube algorithm that this is good content. Help get some other traders' eyes on this stuff. More the merrier, right? Let's get some more folks in on the party. This is looking kind of like its own trend here, its own channel. There's some days you just keep drawing bullish channel after bullish channel. Usually it gets a little bit shallower every time. Now we're getting steeper every time. We also have, I didn't forget to kind of look at this. From this move up pre-market, this really well-defined move, we might get a measured move, and it looks like we might have just hit that, almost. A couple ticks away from that measured move. Nah, macaroons. Matthew, good question. I still do a little bit of stock trading, relative strength, relative weakness. But to be honest, because scalping futures has been so profitable for me and it's working, it's helpful for me to kind of narrow my focus. And so I haven't really had the need to trade stocks just because, yeah, I mean, I'm doing well on futures. So I think for the time being, I'm narrowing my focus a bit and really just trying to do one thing really well rather than spread myself out. But I think the ability to be able to have a good edge trading stocks is important too, and so always also looking out for that, and will that's in my playbook for sure. But just futures right now. Now I don't know what to do with this channel right here, because had it kind of flat, had this strong push up. Is this an overshoot, or do we just have a taller channel? I don't know. Maybe it's more like this. Pretty strong correction here. Maybe it was an overshoot. The other thing too, Matthew, to go with your question about trading stocks, is it to me is really mentally taxing to look at so many different things. Like if you're going to trade stocks well, you have to constantly be flipping charts, running scanners, looking for stuff, marking setups, going to another stock, marking another setup, setting alerts here, setting alerts there. That's what it takes to be a really good stock trader. You have to be constantly doing something. Ooh, we got a nice failed second entry long here. I'm not going to take it. It's too bullish. But anyway, that's also just takes a lot out of me mentally to do that all day, whereas now I'm trading one chart, I can just kind of relax. Like I know exactly what the setup I'm looking for, and I can just wait until that happens. And if things aren't setting up, it's fine. I'll make another cup of tea, listen to some music, get some other work done, things like that. Chat with you guys. It's a lot less stressful to me to trade one ticker and trade it well. So that's another plug for doing just trading futures, price action futures. Exactly, Storm. It's just, dude, just focus, Right now, if I was trading stocks, I'd have to be scrambling, looking for what's moving higher than the market, what's stalling out if I'm bearish, which charts have a good daily, are there any algo lines on there, what's the support and resistance for each chart, Haha. Matthew, I I also have a job, so I'll say that. All right, so we have a break of that little move, and need a new low there. But yeah, Matthew, if your job, if you can have 4 screens trading a bunch of different stocks, then great. But I would imagine one small screen might be a little bit more under the radar. and you wouldn't have to focus on it as much. You know, you can keep it going and always be looking for your setup, but you don't have to do anything with it. It's just right there. You're just looking at it. First entry short. I saw this one interview on YouTube of these traders, and this one guy was like trading at work, and he's a full-time trader now, but he was trading at work and like got all of his coworkers in on it, and so they were all like trading at work in this conference room until the boss had to nix that. That's kind of funny. So I don't know what your workplace is like, Matthew, but maybe you can get some coworkers on board. You know, I like a failed second entry short here. I like it a lot. Needs to come down a little bit and give the setup right at the EMA. I'll probably just go on without us. But so you know what I'm talking about. Here's a first entry right there. Pull back. Still waiting on our second entry. Once it occurs, then we'll look for it to fail. Take that long. Trap those counter trend traders. But we're really getting into the territory where this bullish move is nice. Macaroons is killing it today. Love it. Oh, I hate when that happens. It just bounces off your target. That's the worst. Yeah, it's a pretty decent second entry long to take. This concerns me though, that you're taking it right into you still have that channel in play right here. You're having to trust that it won't get a new test of that channel. Oops, my drawing wasn't on the screen. You didn't see that. Oh well, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get, oh yeah baby. Here we go. Can we get a nice failed second entry short? I want this to tick lower. Come on baby, tick lower. And then finish bullish. That's what we want. Actually, I don't want a tick lower. I want like several ticks lower. Let's go a point lower and then finish with a bullish hammer. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to take this one. Can't go too high though. I don't want to see too big of a bar. This is about as big as I want it. Dang, that wasn't bullish enough. Still could get a chance though if it ticks lower again. I don't think it's gonna do what I want it to do. Come on, man. Just go lower. Nope. It's going higher. So again, that's the failed second entry short I was looking at. So from the swing low, our first entry right there, Second entry right there. That has now failed. But our signal bar was not bullish enough. That kept me out of it. I'm starting to wonder on some of those setups, because the context was perfect. I'm starting to wonder if I should also have some other charts up, like maybe the 2500 tick. I wonder if that looked any better. No, it didn't. Or like the 3000 maybe. 5,000. That didn't do anything either. But sometimes the setup will be more obvious on a higher time frame. Oh my gosh, macaroons. You're an animal. Juan, they've done the 80% off sale. I'd say like every I think the first time they did it was in the fall, and they've done it a few times since then. So like every couple months they'll run that. But who knows? I mean, they have a lot of people, like the company's getting bigger, and they've been doing a lot of payouts, so they might not have the need to do as many of those sales anymore. I don't know. So it might be a while before the next one. I'd take advantage of it while it's here. Again, that's only today and tomorrow, so for anyone else too, the Apex 80% off sale, get in on that. Okay, so now, what do we got? This would be a higher low after the failed second entry, but gosh, I don't know. This is pretty flat looking. If the bar looks good enough, I might take it. If it comes a bit lower and forms right around the EMA. Macaroons, how many trades have you taken today? What are you at now? I've seen at least like 4. Nice, okay. Sweet. 1 contract. 4 points on the day. No, actually, John, no, you don't. After you pass your evaluation, you have the option to do a one-time fee, which is, depends on your account size. I think for the 50K account, it's like $150 one time, forever. So then you don't pay anything else after, in your performance accounts, just yours. No monthly fees or anything, which is amazing. I don't know that any other company is doing that one-time fee, or if they are, it's a lot higher. Yeah, unfortunately, if you blow your PA account, you'd have to get a new one. So take it slow, man. Once if you're going to trade a little aggressive on the evaluations, that makes sense. But once you get that PA, even go down to micro accounts, you want to conserve that thing. Your drawdown is everything, monitor that closely. I mean, you should in the evaluations too, but really, when you have a funded account, monitor your drawdown, protect that thing. Especially if you're doing the lifetime fee, like, what's the rush? You don't have to pay anything else. It's just just build it. Add another. That's what you can do, instead of like trying to, because I'm sure you get a funded account, you're like, I want to make money with it. Well, instead of trading more contracts or whatever, just pass another evaluation. If you have 20 accounts and they're all just trading one contract, that's like trading 20 contracts, right? But you're not risking that, because each one you're only risking a little bit, and you can conserve your drawdown but also build a lot of capital. So that's what I've done. It's worked out really well. I mean, you can trade all the accounts at the same time with a copier, so it's just like having one account anyway. We are now on like our third entry short that's gonna fail. Not even a bullish bar, can't take it. This is just kind of a weird area here. We're obviously bullish on the day, but just kind of stalling out. There's got to be a bigger channel in play here. Try to connect that top. Looks pretty decent. Anything else, if I draw any shallower, then we'll have an overshoot here, but this is not acting like an overshoot. It's acting like part of the channel, so I think we might have something like this. It's kind of weird that this first swing doesn't touch, but I don't know. Sometimes you get channels like that. Now we're getting into kind of a choppy little range here. I might take a triple test right on the bottom there. One, well, it looks like we might already have it, but a nice bullish bar right there. I would consider that. Or failed breakout even. This is kind of what the pretty standard trend days have looked like recently, is like big move up, consolidate for, half an hour, big move up, consolidate for half an hour. This is starting to look really familiar. Yeah, that break still needs a new low, but with how bullish it is, you don't necessarily always expect that. You don't expect every correction to get a new low. You want to see an attempt at it, but if you see an attempt, you have a break, you're expecting a new low. If you see, several attempts at it and the EMA is holding, then you can consider that, good enough. The other possibility for this channel, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but instead of drawing it off the highs like this, you can also draw it off the lows. Like, what the heck? hold on. You could draw it off the lows and then have just the space at the top instead of the space at the bottom. I don't know how much difference it really makes. It's kind of the same thing either way. One's just a little steeper than the other. I think maybe I'll stick with this one because it has more confirmed touches. Oh man. My neck hurts from being in the crawl space yesterday. Oh. The hot tub sounds good. Someone needs to invent that, dude. Like a hot tub trading station where you got like jets going on your neck with a nice screen, waterproof mouse. I don't even see that second entry long. I don't have it on my chart at least. I just have the first entry right here, and then it never pulled back to give a second entry. So that's what I got. Unless you had, you know, maybe this bar ticked higher, then that'd be a second entry. But I don't have a second entry on my chart. I like a higher low right here though. Right around here, kind of at the top of this little mini range. Still expecting a new extreme of this channel. But as I say all this, it looks like it might just continue to go up without giving us an entry. Such is life, such is trading. All right, John, way to go. I like that I'm seeing a lot of winners. Even if I'm not taking a trade or whatever, it's good to see that other people are doing well. Maybe I'm just the guy that throws out ideas and y'all make money while I skip everything. Nice, Storm. Good work. See, now that we have an overshoot, I'm going to go back to having the channel like this. And look at how that lines up. Yeah, look at that. That looks good. Alright, see you soon, macaroon. Oh, you dig that? Guys, you're gonna find out the more you hang out with me, the more dad jokes are gonna come out. It's inevitable. When I was a teenager, my dad has a really dry sense of humor, like he just speaks in puns basically. And when I was a teenager, I hated it. I was like, Dad, that's not even funny. Now that I'm an adult, that's the only humor I know. Yeah, I think trend day is looking more and more likely, but it's going to be one of those just kind of choppy, grind up kind of trends. You can see we're clearly trending bullish. Am expecting a larger correction here pretty soon. We've been hanging out in the upper quadrant of this channel for quite a while. I would expect us to eventually come down here. Unless it's just going to be a runaway day. Some days you get that where it just never comes down to the bottom of the channel, just keeps making higher and higher channels. Those are, to be honest, those are almost harder for me to trade than clear kind of ranges or mixed days where it's up and down, because everything is pretty well defined. You get like a really strong bullish day and you just kind of are drifting up into nowhere, and it feels like it's really hard to take a long. You're always away from the EMA, there's no second entries on days like that. You have to trade first entries, or even sometimes just, strong bullish bars. Not even a pullback, just whatever bullish bar it is, just go long. That's one of my goals. I mean, hopefully we have the conditions for it, but one of my goals is to get better on days like that. Because, shoot, once you get those down, those days are cakewalks. You take one trade, just let your runner ride all day. But it's about recognizing, seeing it early. Like, this is the kind of day we're going to have, and then capitalizing on it, because it requires initially what seems like an aggressive setup, because you're not taking a second entry, or sometimes not even a first entry. It's just like a bullish bar. But yeah, that'll happen. Hopefully we'll get into some more days like that. Oh man, Madhav, you do 0 DTE? Dang, I know you said you did SPY and SPX, but that's a whole different beast. You think futures are crazy? Man, oh man. We don't have to worry about crazy bid-ask spreads and IV crush and all that. Yeah, macaroons, I feel that. Man, oh man. Madhav, that is frightening. Hey, hats off to you though if you haven't gotten wrecked with that. I've never even tried a 0 DT SPY option. I probably shouldn't even. I know that I do have a tendency to gamble. Believe it or not, watching my like super chill future sessions, but that's because I've killed the beast. But the beast is still there. I feel like that will awaken the beast. Seeing whatever 5-cent option all of a sudden go to $2 or something. Yeah, I can't have that in my life. I've done so much work to get rid of all that impulse gambling stuff. Yeah, now it looks like we might need that correction down to the bottom of the channel. Or perhaps the midline will just keep holding prices. If that's the case, if we do get a bounce on this midline, I might consider a higher low right here. to consider a failed second entry short or a second entry short, because a failed second entry short is a bullish trade. If your question is what would it take for me to do a second entry short, then the answer would be we would need to go, a failed second entry short. Okay. I'd take a failed second entry short here. If we have our break, we're getting a new low. You know, if we can definitively get a new low here and move back above the EMA, you know, back above the EMA, first entry, keep pushing up, second entry, I'll take that failure. No, I'm not afraid of that. I think the EMA is a good tell on that, John. If prices are above the EMA, that's bullish. You know, even if you have, they're not going to push above the EMA if things are that bearish. So yeah, I mean, you're right. This is a pretty strong bearish move, but if we then have some bull bars that get above the EMA, then it's actually almost better, because all these shorts, people are seeing this and they're getting short right here. They're going to be trapped right here. And that's really the beauty of failed second entries. They're traps for counter trend traders. So that would actually be probably a really good trade, and it'll, you know, move right away and hit your target, because you're going to get that failed second entry, you know, and draw in those shorts. More shorts are entering here, more shorts are entering here, and then you get your bullish signal, and boom, they all get stopped out, you get filled, you can walk away for the day happy. Yeah, if you're taking failed second entries, you want the other side to look pretty convincing. That's why they're a little bit tricky. Like, if you're newer, don't try to trade them, because they are, there's a lot of nuances to them. But yeah, stick with the regular stuff, the just second entries. But once you get into them, they're nice. What up, Grant? Oh my gosh, my kids are making some crazy noise. Hold on, I gotta make sure everything's good. One sec, I'll be right back, guys. All right, I am back. So, my kids had found one of my Amazon boxes with those giant like air bubble things, and they were popping them. It sounded like some stuff was crashing in their room or something. Anyway, John, you're asking a question about the failed second entry long. So, no, for a failed second entry long, what you'd be looking for is a steep move like this for sure. A first entry, and then you want your second entry to be quite bullish. You want it to be convincing for bulls. Now again, this is not the context for it. You know, you would take a failed second entry long when you have a bearish trend day and you're trying to catch counter trend traders who are trying to get long. But just for the sake of an example, let's say we're in a bearish day and, you know, you get a first entry. You want that second entry to be nice and convincing for bulls, and to happen below the EMA, and then a nice bearish hammer to take. on the failure. Hope that makes sense. But again, I'm not taking that here. We're in a bullish trend. I'm only looking for longs for the time being. Everything else I'm letting play out. So this move down, we have a break. We're forming a new low. I'm letting that play out. And then I'm just going to look for another opportunity to get long. And we might, because we have some room down to the bottom here, we might get this, one leg and then two legs down. And then that will be played out. I feel like John Madden with all this, drawing. So now I'm just looking for signs of reversal. Once we push above the EMA, then I'll be looking to get long again. So here we go. And I might consider a higher low because of how bullish things have been. I might not even wait for a second entry to fail. But see, now we're not pushing above the EMA, so that tells me this correction has more juice in it. If we would have pushed above and held above, okay, now we can look for longs. But now I really am expecting us to go two legs down. The Trap Squad is back in town, baby. Yep, that's the thing, dude. There's a lot of longs in here. There's a lot of longs. Lots of people getting long. The market algorithms could pick up lots of sell stops. You're short, Grant? Okay. Best of luck to you. Wow, you see it going all the way down to 56. Oh yeah, okay. Below all this, essentially. All those orders. Coming back for some of that sweet liquidity. That was a nice lower high, if you're so inclined. If you're bearish, that's a nice lower high right there. Nice signal bar below the couldn't push above the EMA here. That'd be a good short signal. Grant, did you have a level up here that did you have some buy side liquidity, some sort of level up here that you were trading off of? Was there like a weekly gap or something? Nice. Cool. Perfect. The other thing about that trade that right here is that was also a second entry long failure. And then that lower high confirmed that. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Lower highs and higher lows are confirmation bars. So if you weren't confident in that second entry long failure, well, then you see that lower high and you're like, okay, we're holding below the EMA. That's nice and bearish. I'm going to take that. Oh, I see. It might fill the rest of the gap. Gotcha. Madov, this bear cross on 10p is pretty far down. I feel like if it was going to produce, it would have already done so. Oh, oops, you can see that. Hopefully I'm not doxing myself over here. But that's for those that are interested, that's the 10p indicator that I talk about sometimes. That's on Option Stalker. You can see, I guess you can't see all of it, but you can see the oscillator here. That's the indicator. Man, we were kind of getting into chop zone here. Yeah, for sure. Gotcha, Madhav. Makes sense. Congestion station right here, guys. Stay out of that. Well, I'm not seeing much here for a while. It's going to take me to get at least to here, really, to be bullish, to look for bull trades again, unless we push strongly above the EMA and hold it. But it's my day off of my other job, so I think I'm going to get out, enjoy the day, take my boys and go do something, and go on a hike or something. Not really sure, but yeah, so I think I'm gonna call it for this morning, but I hope you guys trade safe. As always, thanks for hanging out with me, and again, if you're interested in doing some evaluations, last chance today and tomorrow to take advantage of that. Appreciate the well wishes, guys. Be safe out there, and see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time, Eastern Time. Later, everyone.